Hello everyone, Tiffany Manger here, and this is probably going to be a long video. I'm sorry, but this one's a little long process, plus I'm showing off a lot of little items here and there. So this is what we call a magic card. And why do we call it a magic card? Because as you see here is we've got just our plain old black and white fairy, but when you pull her out, let's see if I can get it to work. When you pull her out, she magically becomes colored in. Isn't that cool? Let me slide her back in. As you can see, whoop. My slider's a little stuck here. She turns black and white again. Let's try it again. Whoop. And she's colored. See how that magically appears? So, and like I said, I'm going to be showing off a lot of different products. I use some Celebration products, and this might take a little while. So I'm going to put her aside. And we're going to change it up. We're going to do the card that it ends up going to be this way, sideways. So first off, for your pieces, you need, and I'm going to reverse these colors too, your base, which is, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it in half, which is 4 1/4. And this is in Bermuda Bay. My next piece here, I'm using the Celebration paper, and this is called Color or Inside the Lines, and it's black and white, so you can color it. It kind of looks like the adult coloring book situation here. And the only way you can get this, and you only have about 2 weeks left until March 31st, is through Celebration, which you spend $50 before shipping and tax, and you get to pick an item from the Celebration catalog for free. So the only way you can get this is for free after you spend $50. And I have this at 5 1/4 by 4. All right, and then my next piece here, this is Sweet Sugar Plum. And I have him, I believe, I forgot my measurements here. This is 4 3/4 by, by 3 1/2. All right. You're going to need a piece of Whisper White, and this is 4 by 7. You're going to need another piece of Whisper White, and this is 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then you're also going to need a window sheet, 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then you're just going to need a little strip of Whisper White at 4 by 1/2 inch. So we'll put all this stuff aside here. So first off, we're going to work on the fairy. And we'll put all this aside here. So, excuse me. We're going to, let me see here. There we go. All right. We're going to stamp this first. And the stamp set I am using is Fairy Celebration, and I just thought the sayings in it work perfectly for a magic card, because the one bottom stamp I had, it said, all it takes is love and trust and a little bit of fairy dust. And I was thinking, ooh, magical, fairies are magical, so we're going to use this little girl here. And I also used the little confetti or sparkle fairy dust, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to stamp her with StazOn. So let me get her out. All right. Make sure she's nice and inked up here. Alrighty. And you're just going to stamp her right around the middle here. I'm going to stamp her right there. All right, there we go. And then I'm also going to take my Sweet Sugar, well, actually, no, I'm going to leave this blank because I'm going to do this a little different than I did the other one. So now, give her a moment to dry here. Now we need to stamp the window sheet, and we're going to stamp the window sheet to get it exactly same spot. So let me hair dry a little bit. We're going to use what's called a Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. And the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, before we had photopolymer, we had a lot of times where you could just line it up like that. You could line it up with the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. So let me see if she's done being dry. Yep. It's going to look a little shiny. So you're going to line your plastic or your window sheet up right along with your piece. And we're going to put this aside here. And your Stampin' comes with a plastic sheet here, and this is your little Stampin' piece. You want to put this in the top corner or bottom corner, don't matter, like so. You're going to ink up your girl once again, and you're going to line this up like so, and just stamp straight down. There you go. There's your image. If it's smudged, that's fine. We're going to put this aside for a minute. Okay. So now we're going to bring this back to line this up. All right. Then we're going to take our stamped image on our sheet, and we are going to line it up right on top of this stamped image here. Like this. Let's get her perfectly lined up. And once you got it perfectly lined up, you're going to put your Stampin' Majig right at the top corner again. Move your stamped image out of the way. Make sure your girl is inked up here. And then you're going to stamp right down. And there you go. It is stamped right on top of one another. It might be a little off, but that's okay. So there you've got your images stamped. Let me close up this. All right, and now we're going to color in our white piece here. So let me move some stuff out of the way here. So, and just give me a moment here. For her skin tone, I used Sahara Sand. It makes her a little weird colorish looking, but she's a fairy, so she's not a normal human being. She kind of looks a little grayish. I'll try to color as quick as I can here to try to save some time. And we'll color the back of her neck. And you can see her little ears. Alright, so we got that there. Alright, the next color I used for her wings, I used Sweet Sugar Plum. So we'll color in her wings here. And I'm doing a reverse color of what I did with my, my card I used as a sample here. And let's fill that in. Okay. And the cool thing about this stamp set is the butterfly punches match with this. So as you can see, you could add this in the back if you were just stamping this. We're going to use that little butterfly later. And then I took Rich Razzleberry, and I wanted to go around the edges because I wanted a darker edge. And I'm using the other side of our markers here, and this is going to be really sloppy colored because I'm trying to rush here. I'm sorry I don't have a fast forwarding editing option. And then I kind of like went in around the lines to show the veins a little more. That's what I did with my last one. I'm going to try to do this quickly here. I don't know. I just think it gives it more depth when you do that. Or more, the detailing shows up a little more. There we go. Alright, her bun color, I'm going to use Early Espresso to color her hair. Alright. I don't show the markers off enough, so that's another reason I want to do this. And Bermuda Bay for her dress. And let's see here. Alright, so there we go. There she's colored in. Move this aside. Alrighty. I also wanted to stamp down at the bottom. Have a magical celebration, so we're going to do that in Sweet Sugar Plum. Since it's already out, I already put away. And I'm debating where I want to put it at the top or the bottom. I think I'm going to put it at the top this time. Let's see how that looks. Right above her head. There we go. Okay, we're going to leave the Sweet Sugar Plum out while I've got it out here. And we're going to move her aside. We're going to take our Sweet Sugar Plum piece we got here, and we're just going to stamp all around. fairy dust. All around. Let me try to do this quick. Oops, I stamped on that. I didn't want to. Oh well. Just kind of give it a background look. Alrighty, that's good enough. Put her aside there. Okay, so we should be done with all of our stamping. Put that up there. Okay, so whoops, my stuff is falling here. Alrighty, next off, what we need to do is, okay, line up and stamp it here. Okay, now we're gonna adhere the top of this here. So we're just gonna take a little bit of Best Fuse. I'm gonna put a little bit at the top here. And then you're gonna line up your window sheet with your girl. Like so. There we go. And another little tip here, when you go to stamp your window sheet, you want to use, definitely want to use StazOn, because any other ink is not going to work. It's going to not dry. So there we go. We've got, you know what, I might have to add just a little bit more because, just a little at the corner here because it doesn't want to stay. And I don't know why my hands are shaking right now. Maybe a little too much caffeine. I had a headache earlier, so I took some migraine medicine and had some caffeine. Okay, why is this not sticking? I don't want to use too much adhesive because it shows through the window. However, my little girl is... Okay, now I'm having technical difficulties here. Okay, let me line her up and stick her down. Okay, there we go. There we go. And now I've got some adhesive. All right. Oops. Excuse me here. Technical difficulties. All right. There we go. I have a little adhesive shown, but you know what? That's okay right now. I can take an adhesive remover later. All right. I forgot to grab a punch while I was at it for the next step, so give me a moment. Let me go grab it then. Okay, we're going to take our 4x7 and we're going to fold it in half. All right, let me grab my bone folder. Okay, we're going to fold it in half like this. And this is where I need to go grab my punch. Here we go. Oh my. All right, we're going to use our label punch here. And on the folded edge, you're going to punch, line it up here, so it's only halfway through. And you're going to punch it. And you're going to move over and line it up again to about the edge. Punch it again and do so on this side too. All right, enough that she can fit through here. Is she going to fit? Probably not. We have to punch probably a little bit more. Punch a little bit more here. All right, she should be able to fit through. And maybe a little bit more. I believe I used probably the wrong side. I should have done the narrow side up top. I don't want to punch too much. Okay. Let's see here. Will she make it through? Just barely. So let me trim. And I just lost my scissors. Oh my. Trim this here. Trim a little bit more. If this looks ugly, it doesn't really matter because this is not going to show. All right, get all this out of the way. Okay, pull it out edge. We already stamped our base. Now this is how this magic card works. You're going to separate this here. I punched the wrong edge. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I did that. All right, take two. I punched the wrong edge. I thought I had my folded edge, so punch that there. Move it over, punch the edge here. I spent all that time and I didn't even punch the right edge. That's okay. Okay. Here we go now. And all that time I emphasized bunch so you punch the folded edge and it didn't happen. Alrighty. Next. Note of advice, if you do the horizontal way, you're going to need to make this a little more narrow because then it's not going to slide up and down or seal properly. As you can see, I didn't make it wide enough or narrow enough. So, next off, what we got to do is we're going to slide this girl in between here because this is how this works. You put your little girl right in there and that's how she slides. She's separated there, and that's how the magic works. So we're going to put this aside. We're going to start assembling our card here. All right. So let me grab my piece here. I'm not even coloring this in. I'm leaving it black and white, so that way it gives it more effect of the black and white inside here, or outside. All right, so I did that, and our next one will go here. And we're going to put this right there in the middle. Okay. Now, what we need to do next is, let's see here, we need to cut out our holes. So, we're going to take our framelits from our circular framelit, and we're going to line this up about right around where we want it. And let me bring the big shot in here. Excuse me. And you need to go through a lot of layers here. Here's your layers. And I'm going to line this up right around like so. Okay, a little tiny bit lower, right around the middle. There we go. And I'm going to run this like 2 or 3 times because I have a lot of layers in here. And you can do squares, you can do the jar. I think the jar with the little fairy in it would look really cute. And we'll go one more time. And that should have cut out. And I believe I'm done with my big shot. Okay, there we go. I have all those layers almost punched out. There we go. Move her out of the way. Okay. And she is off-centered, so, but you know what? That's okay. We can add some butterflies or whatnot there. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to line this up around where you want it at. So she'll show up, and she's going to need to go a little bit higher. So she's like right in the middle, like that. And I've got adhesive here that's getting in my way here. There we go. All right, you're going to line her up right around where you want her. So there we go. And then what we're going to do is we need to, let me think here, I'm just having a brain fart. All right. First, I'm going to punch a 1/2-inch circle here because we need to make a pull tab. And then we got to figure out where we want this at. And I'm going to estimate right around there is where I'm going to punch it at both sides here. Just a little half punch. Don't need a big spot. Punch it through. There we go. We have our little pull tab. So we're going to fold this guy in half. And I'm going to bring my fast fuse back in and give it some adhesive. Let's see here. Okay, girl. Settle down. Settle down. And then we're going to cover our adhesive we had at the bottom. Pull out a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. Next, we're going to take this here, flip it over, or open, and that half strip piece that we did earlier, we're going to line it right at the bottom, like so. So then that way, when you go to pull it out, it's not pulling fully out. All right. So now, let me look here. 1/2-inch circle. Okay, before we go any further, let me get my hole punch here. And you're going to punch a hole like so, because we're going to need that then. Alrighty. So now we're going to line this up like so, whichever way we want, right about there. That looks good. And I'm going to flip this upside down. Well, I tried to. Actually, before I do that, we're going to put adhesive here on the bottom. And we're also going to put adhesive around our sides. Like so. Now, we're going to line this girl up to where we want it. Hold it down and seal it. And the top's going to be open, like so, because this is how your piece is going to work. There we go. Like so. Oops, I'm out of frame here. So that's it. That's how that is going to work. And I see my one piece is moving here. Why is that? Excuse me for a minute. I don't know why this is moving, but we will put a little adhesive on it. She probably ripped. That's what she probably did. Yes. Oh my, the technical difficulties are everywhere, and I really don't want to start over again. So, seal her like that. Okay. So let me get some ribbon. And we're going to tie our pull string here. This is our mint macaron sheer linen ribbon. And my scissors are missing still, so I'm just going to grab these other scissors. And this video is a lot longer than what I had planned because of all my dumb mistakes, but goes to show I'm human. We're just going to tie a little bow up around here, and that will be our pull string. Alright, so now, you can see she's there. And I pull the string. I wanted to put a little border. And this is another celebration item. So you got about 2 weeks left to get this. This is our 6x6 Glimmer Paper Assortment Pack. And oh my god, look at that sparkle. It's gorgeous. Mint Macaroon, Sweet Sugar Plum, and Bermuda Bay. I took the Sweet Sugar Plum, and I took our layering circles, and I took the same shape size circle here, and the scallop one next to it. Lined them up, so I punched out the circle. And I'm going to put some fast fuse on it, since I've got that out. Our fine tip glue pen also works good on this. And I'm just going to put this around the edge to give it some sparkle. There's our glitter sparkle. All right. So the card's basically done. I'm just decorating it. So what I also did was I took our Project Life cards and labels framelits, and I punched out this long guy here. I'm going to put some dimensionals on him. Like so. I'm going to stick him here. And since it seems a little crooked to me, I'm going to put it off to the side. Like this. Alright, and then the leftover circle I had from that punch, I took and punched our butterfly in it. So I'm going to add her butterfly just to the one edge here. Because I'm going to stick her in the corner like this. And then I took our shape enamel dots. And let's see here. Punch her. And I'm going to take a star this time. And these are Bermuda Bay, because I was trying to color coordinate. I'm going to put her in the side. There we go. All done. Voila, she's sticking to my paper. And you pull her out, and my piece is falling apart, of course. There we go. It is easy. But like I said, I punched a little too close, and I forgot to put some adhesive on the front there. So my piece kind of came apart because she was so thin. So make sure you don't punch so thin there. You probably should have actually did it so the 3.5 was going this way and not this way. So there we go. I forgot to put in my instructions there when I was doing it. Voila! Oh, let me fix her up. Here's my other one, like so. I'll show her. So, sorry for all the mistakes. Like I said, I'm human. If you like what you've seen, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. I try to do at least a new tutorial video every week. If you're interested in any of these items, especially the celebration items, right away, I said you got about 2 weeks left. Go to my website, www.tiffanymanger.stampinup.net. You can also check out my Facebook page, Tiffany Manger Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, if you have any questions. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you come back again, and have a nice day.